So here we meet again. You might be watching this from home, work, a loved one's house, but we all meet together here, to our devices, searching for something. An endless fall of content we all know too well, constantly trying to reach the bottom of an algorithm that will never find us any answers, yet we still continue to scroll. Well, why? We as humans are truly capable of some insane things, but what about me? What led to me feeling so lost, scrolling, living through those who don't even know who I am? It feels as if I'm witnessing everything, but not a part of any of it. Now I grab drinks with my same friends, share some laughs, and play the game I love, and find myself in a place I worked so hard to get to, but that's simply it. I've done what I've needed. Why isn't that enough? Well, because it never was. Let me tell you my story. I was born in a smaller city, and from day one I found myself drawn to the arts more than anything. I let my imagination roam free and let art take the wheel for how I envisioned my future beyond my city. And although that rock band high school was never actually me playing drums in rock arenas, I told myself it was, like we all did when we were kids. I mean, let's be real, if our kid ambitions were true, you'd know like 13 astronauts, 3 unicorns, and Iron Man, but that was beyond the point. We'd never let a no stop us. We kept a strong sense of imagination and let the world be ours. But growing up, being told no becomes far more frequent. Some are needed, we can't all be Iron Man, but at the same time, I was often told in school that art was simply a hobby, and I, much like everyone else, should find a real subject to focus on for a job. That never truly stopped me. I still made my stupid YouTube videos, but that's all they seemed like. Stupid YouTube videos that I would laugh at in a couple years and not much more. Years passed and that drum set got used less and less, and the stupid videos became far less frequent. I felt like they were right. This was just some dumb hobby, and I was set to be in the same cycle everyone else was told to pursue. To find something real I could focus on and just move on. That was until 2020. Although I was still a teenager, it was the most artistically vacant I had been. For months I sat completely ambitionless, playing video games and just hoping the world would one day be normal for me. It was around this time I also realized that I was just terrible at math, and one night I completely broke down, realizing that the path I had assumed I would go down just wouldn't work. But then it happened. After a random what-if thought and a close friend who loved photography, that fall I picked up my first camera, a Canon T1i. From then on, I had escaped. Now, what do I mean escaped? It's not like I got this camera and immediately got to work. If anything, I thought this would be for sure a fleeting phase I'd just move on from. But somehow, I never did. I still felt lost and ambitionless, and I was still a teen trying to figure out what it meant to have a friend, but in a way, the camera gave me control. I got to view these emotions from another perspective, quite literally. I would bring this camera to hangouts with friends I had just met and walks around my neighborhood, and it just gave me hope. At a time so bleak for both the world and myself, it gave me the ability to view it in a new way, one with so much beauty, bittersweet nostalgia, and optimism. Even at that age, I knew that one day I would look at these photos and videos and laugh, reminisce about the friends I had once laughed with, and the ones I've grown to know far deeper than I did back then. I was literally doing nothing during this time, but I still found a way to be confident and start to realize the subtle nuances life presented to me while I was too busy worrying about the bigger picture. And this gave me an escape. It gave me a new path. Ever since 2020, I became the guy with the camera to my friends. Yes, that meant I totally should have gotten paid for the overtime for editing those photos I gave them, but it got me capturing memories I hold so close in a way I could learn from and enjoy years down the line. It slowly went from a party trick to a passion, and I realized I no longer had to give up on that artist dream I always had. And here we are today, where I'm able to do what I truly love the most. As I was sitting back in that home I grew up in when I was visiting this fall, I realized how far I'd come from sitting in that bedroom completely lost. And it would have never happened if I just listened. Life's a funny thing. Not only are you expected to act like you know what's going on at all times, you're expected to live for others at the same time. Fall in love, make friends and connections, work your way to being a full person, yet at the same time, we are so afraid of ourselves. We hush off our true passions because they'll simply never happen, right? We live in regret of not talking to that girl or not traveling to that country because that would have been far too risky, right? No, obviously not. If that were true, how the hell we have famous musicians we scream the lyrics to and grandparents who love each other like they've just seen each other for the first time? We all, in one way, deserve a chance to escape. It might take your lowest, a memory that you cringe at when you think of it, or a time where everything got a little harder than it was before. But to live in the thought of what if isn't to live much at all. It's so easy to listen to the words of those who say to stay inside, but those people they talk about in your boring lectures and TV shows took that jump. Lost in their ambition, they took risks we admire, ones that we say some are destined to, but more than likely were risks that didn't even second guess for a chance of betterment and escape. So really, who isn't to say that you can't either? Life is finite, it's loud and it's confusing, and we don't really know what's going on, and that's okay. But to be lost in yourself is something that only you can change. So after this video, I want you to take that risk. Talk to that person you think is totally out of your league, book that flight to the place you've dreamed of night and night again, pick up that old camera that you think is paperweight, and ultimately, if you're feeling lost, do something that lets you escape, even if it seems insane. Something as simple as a camera and some friends, or as scary as letting yourself be open. Loving someone who makes every day feel like Christmas morning, and asking yourself, what will truly make me happy? Because the answer might scare you, but it might just let you finally breathe, knowing, I've done it. I've escaped, and I love myself for it.